we are going to hear from Sam. Sam is going to talk about how to create a personal brand in product management. And the second talk, it's going to be with Ranza. He is going to talk about how to boost your productivity with IntelliJ Idea. Okay, we are going to start with Sam. If anyone in the audience has questions, you can type your question in the chat, or you can mute yourself at the end of the talks and ask questions yourself to the presenters. Okay, this meeting is being recorded. I'm going to share the link of the YouTube channel here in the chat, so you can check in a couple of days for the recording. And I think that's all. So, Sam, are you ready? Would you like to start?
Yep, I'm ready. Yep. So I'll just share my screen. So can everybody see my presentation okay?
Yes, I can.
That's great. So hi everyone, my name is Sam Burden and I'm here today to talk about how to create a personal brand in product management. Within my talk, I'll go through my journey into product management. So I'll give a quick bio of who I am and I suppose why I transitioned from to product management. What is a personal brand and why it's important to product management? The 5-step process for developing your own personal brand and the key takeaways from the talk. So my journey into product management. So I'm going to give you a brief introduction to myself. So last year, as you're probably aware, I don't want to mention the word too much, but because of lockdown, I decided to transition from marketing background into user research and design. And within March this year, I accepted a job role at a marketing research company called Maru as a product manager, focusing on UX or looking at helping with the UX side of things at the company. And for myself, it was a great sort of learning curve. It was more about within the past year identifying what my key traits are, how I can stand out within the market. I know within particularly UX, there is a massive growth in people wanting to apply for these sort of roles. And with that in mind, I kind of wanted to understand how I could stand out with the market. How can I be special within this? And when I was researching this, particularly being new to this, there was a lot of emphasis on, okay, then this is how you design stuff. This is my design work. This is what I've created. But with the ever-growing market and such, I suppose, saturation, it's hard to stand out from the crowd. And for myself, I wanted to know how I could take my marketing experience and actually brand myself within product management, because I know within this journey, it's more focused on looking at stakeholder management, making sure that you review trends and you're constantly learning and you're promoting yourself and the product and the business going forward. And I've kind of, again, researched articles in terms of how can I make a personal brand within UX and product management. And this is a question I asked a couple of months ago to myself. And there seems to be no straight answer. It's either straight cut product management or creating portfolio. And this is the journey I kind of wanted to review and sort of give over my insights of what I found so far. So first off, I wanted to find what a personal brand is. Now, for yourself and personally for me, when I first heard the word personal brand, I thought, oh, it's a dirty word. It's more about influencers looking at promoting different brands and different like holidays, or this is a new trend. And to an extent, that is some part of the element. But it's not just focused more on, it's more about self-awareness. And I kind of wanted to bring over a statement from Reed in terms of what a personal brand is, particularly within a professional environment. So what they've said is, it's an ongoing process of marketing your attributes, personality, and skills. It represents who you are as an individual and helps you to build a positive reputation for yourself. And you begin to associate your name with an idea of what it meant to be successful within the industry, to become a thought leader and an influencer, which is a great, I suppose, aspect in terms of, particularly within product management, that emphasis of being a thought leader and influencer. It's great for helping with the product development side of things and helping your company to build a better product. Now, I'm just going on the marketing side of things here in terms of, okay, then this is great to understand what a personal brand is, but what elements can I take away from successful brands to build my own successful brand within product management? And as you can see here, when you probably think about brands, it's like, oh, what do I think about? I think about the McDonald's logo, what they stand for. It's like fast food, and looking at Apple and their products, and Google and Coca-Cola. And it's kind of, in that instance, particularly within product management, taking away the elements that you gain from these sort of brands can help you build a better brand itself, because it's all about recognition. You're always going to be aware, no matter where you are in the world, you're going to always know the logos, what they stand for, what they're offering, and also the fact that you kind of know what kind of values they hold. And this relates back to what you want as a person and how it relates back to you. And this is kind of, I suppose, key takeaway I wanted to take away from building a personal brand, particularly in product management, is you need to make sure that you have that recognition, and making sure that the brand that you represent or want to represent is part of the image that you want to represent. So I kind of done a little bit of analysis of who I am as a product manager in terms of what I want to give across. So my key elements of being a product manager is making sure that I storytell. I make sure I storytell my findings about what my product is, and do that in a way that relates back to how I want to emphasize the product. So looking at user stories, understanding a bit more about how different elements of a product's issues can relate back to the business and how it can be improved. Data analysis, I'm very much an analytical person. I need to make sure that I get all the facts and figures. Again, relates back to trends. And I look to promote that via doing tools like this, and also via doing articles as well. I'm also a very creative person, and within my role and within my own personal life, I need to make sure that I keep being creative, and whether that's doing research, whether that's doing wireframing, whether that's just getting general guidance in terms of what I can do next. And then my key thing in terms of my own personal brand for being in product management is to be of service to others. And that is all about making sure that I'm giving advice to people in terms of what is, I suppose, good practice, and also give over my key learnings, and not being afraid to be vulnerable in terms of understanding what I've learned from being a product manager so far. So I do that through mentoring, or doing articles, or doing talks like this, just so I can, my own personal brand is about reflection on how I can become a better product myself. So with that in mind, I kind of devised a 5-step process of how you can develop your own personal brand. Now, this is kind of, although this is focused on product management, this can be applied to all sort of aspects within either your personal or professional life. So the first step I would say is define what you want to stand for within your own personal brand. So for myself, I have been reviewing my own personal values with coaching, and it's been making sure that I'm creative, making sure I'm of service to others, and making sure that I focus on innovation and creativity. Those are the kind of values. Now, when you're trying to build this, it kind of helps not only yourself trying to get the message about who you are and what you stand for, but also helps within your job role, because then it kind of emphasizes what kind of key tasks you want to be involved with. So particularly with me, with product management, those 3 are ideal in terms of trying to build better products, trying to be stay ahead of the competition, and making sure those ideas are out there for other people to understand what happens. But it also helps to make sure that you're authentic to your audience as well, and how you want your personal brand to be perceived by others. So step 2 is find your platform. So I've taken this from others from inspiration, because I think it's one of the key things when building a personal brand is making sure you find the right platform. There's so much emphasis in terms of, I need to be on Facebook, I need to be on Instagram, I need to be doing this 24/7. And it's not about that. It's making sure you find a consistency within how you want to display yourself within your personal brand. So for myself, I am a keen speaker. So I do talks like this. I do videos on YouTube, and I also do writing articles, because for myself, it's more how I can be a better storyteller and have that influence within my own market. And that is doing, again, product management and also UX. But it's making sure that your platforms you choose are authentic to you. So it's all about building your platforms for you, for your audience, not the other way around. Because if you do the other way around, you lose that authenticity. And then people are like, well, I can't relate to you because you're trying to do for others rather than for yourself. And it kind of makes it harder to relate back to people when they do that. So it's kind of, choose that platform that reflects who you are. Step 3 is collaborate. Now, this is something I've really appreciated when entering product management and UX. So taking this from my working environment, I'm collaborating on a day-to-day basis, not just with my own team, but also with others. So I'm working with DevOps, I'm working with engineering team, I'm working with operations. And you can translate that back into your personal brand. So collaborate with others within either, again, to do with your platforms, looking at the writing community, looking at not just others within your field, but then also look at others in terms of other writers who and gain inspiration for them. Because when building a personal brand, it's hard to be on your own. You need to reach out there and go and talk to people and make sure you do it on a regular basis, because then it provides consistency and reliability of your own personal brand. So step 4 is give back to the community. And I think this isn't emphasized enough, particularly when I was researching personal brands, is giving back to the community, making sure that you offer advice to people, like giving them teachings. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable. Give over what your learnings have been so far within your own journey, particularly me giving over my journey into product management and UX. I've kind of been quite informative in terms of what changes I've done, what I've learned, what I failed at, and then tried again at. And it's all about making sure that you can serve the community that helps you to grow as a person within your personal brand and also within your work. And step 5, I think this is one of the key things, is invest in yourself. So I'm taking back that inspiration from those that slide I did about the big brands. Now, the reason why they are recognised so much is because they invest so much. They invest in the image. They invest the fact that it's recognition that you know that they exist, because there's always visible the image and also representing their new products. And it's, again, take that and use it for yourself in terms of either looking at investing time in changing how you write, or looking at how you can create better content, looking at how you can expand your platforms. It's all about taking the time to reflect how you can constantly improve and actually become a better, have a better personal brand, and actually continually grow within your particular field. So again, for me, product management, in terms of I've had to invest in learning new techniques, learn a bit more about product management techniques, and actually use that within my personal brand and sort of write about what I've learned, so then I can give it to others. So the key takeaways I've given from my talk. So I've given a bit of information about myself and I suppose my transition from marketing to product management and UX. And I kind of wanted to reflect in terms of how a personal brand can actually be very influential within this sort of sphere, in terms of making sure that you are a thought leader and actually stand out within your learnings and actually teach others skills and learnings within your journey. Hopefully take away that 5-step process of making sure that you define what your platform is, understand who you are, values, understanding a bit more about investing time in yourself and communities will help you to actually grow your own personal brand, whether that is in your personal life or within your professional life. So that is my talk today. Here's my contact details. I've actually written a post a couple months ago that I've written on Medium, and I've also taken inspiration from others in terms of how to build a 5-step brand, so that was included within the talk as well. So thank you very much for listening today, and I look forward to any questions you may have.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you very much. Would anyone? There's something. My screen is black. Did you stop?
Yeah,
That's fine. I was wondering if there was a problem here. So, would anyone in the audience have a question to Sam? It would be great if you want to unmute yourself and ask yourselves, but if not, you can also type in the chat. While we are waiting, Sam, from myself, thank you very much for myself. It was very enlightening, because every time I thought about personal brands, I always thought that it was just about your profiles, like, oh, how do I configure it? What do I do with my LinkedIn profile, Facebook profile, whatever? But from everything that you explained, there is so much more than this.
Definitely, yeah. There's so much more, because you think personal brand is just about, again, like channels, but it is about like your representation, about your image, but then also your values. And I think values is one key thing that's not talked about. I think it's definitely one thing where it actually makes sure that you stand out from the crowd.
Yeah, and exactly the keywords, as I said, values, the things that I think like maybe relationship, respecting people, trying, especially as you said, you deal with so many different teams, DevOps, developers, whatever. And it's not that you are a project manager, but I think that anyone can benefit from this. Even if you are a developer, for example, I am a technical writer, but the tips that you gave, how to make the most of your profiles, relationship with people, find your values, be honest. I think that anyone, no matter your position, you can benefit from that, right? And especially share. I took a note here. I want to share this with you, everyone here. Number 4, give back to the community. For example, Sam, you said you offer advices, maybe mentoring people who want to follow the same path. And I want to make an invite here for everyone in this meeting, if you have anything to say, if you want to give a talk, a lightning talk, which is 5 minutes, make it, contact Barry or Dominic from this community and go for it, share your knowledge, because I'm sure that there must be something interesting that the community could benefit from it, right?
Definitely, yeah.
Okay, excellent talk. Yeah. Okay, so I don't see any question here. Do you have
Hello.
anything? Okay, go ahead.
I just want to say hello because I just joined the room,
Sorry.
I've just joined the room. I've just joined the event. Sorry, I wasn't there.
That's right.
Okay, no problem. Thank you. Okay, I think that we are ready to start with Ramza now.
Okay,
Ramza, are you
cool.
ready?
Yes, I am. Let me share my screen.
Okay.
Okay, there you go. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes, I can see it.
Yes, we can.
Okay, brilliant. So, hello, my name is Hamza Belmellouki, and I am an IT consultant at Octo Technology. Today, we're going to talk about some of the advanced tricks that you can use to increase your productivity when working with IntelliJ Idea. I'll be throwing various IntelliJ Idea tricks, so be patient with me, please. If you only take 2 or 3 tips from this presentation, that's the way for me. So before we start, I really appreciate questions. I certainly welcome them. So speak up, raise your voice, draw my attention. I'll be more than happy to listen to you and then participate in your discussions, questions, comments, just about anything. So with that said, let's get started. Okay. So why master IntelliJ Idea? As you know, IntelliJ Idea is the most dominant IDE for JVM developers in the market by now. It supports various JVM frameworks, several programming languages, complex refactorings, integration with the VCS, connect with various databases, and many more. So we Java developers spend a tremendous amount of time in front of the IDE. Unfortunately, I've noticed that many of us, including myself, of course, don't take advantage of IntelliJ Idea's powerful features. So during this presentation, we'll talk about how and why switch to IntelliJ GUI-less mode, how to navigate effectively within the IDE. We'll get to know various important editor tricks and a brief look into the VCS integration and database tools. Okay, let's start, shall we? Let me switch first to the IDE. By the way, I'd like to mention that developer advocates in JetBrains advise working with IntelliJ in a GUI-less mode. You might ask, why? Well, simply because these UIs, the navigation bar, the toolbar, tabs, tool window bars, these UIs tend to represent a visual distraction to the developer, preventing you from focusing on what matters the most, of your code, obviously. So let's remove all of them and see how things will look. Okay, let's switch to distraction-free mode. First by removing the toolbar. Next, navigation bar, and two window bar, and lastly tabs to none. Cool. So now we're in a destruction-free mode. So now let's see how to search inside the IDE. First, there is the known shift command. It does, oops. There you go. It does search for everything, files, classes, symbols, actions. Everybody knows this, right? So here the search can get really slow when working on big projects. Instead, use a specific search to get what you want if you know the content type you're searching for. And it's pretty fast compared to search everywhere. So to search for a class, you can use Command O, and I can search for string utils. Notice here the shortcut in the bottom. So you can see here. You can see the shortcut in Mac and Windows. The thing is, don't focus much on the shortcut. They are configurable. Instead, focus on the flow we're working with. So I'll go to string utils. So if you're looking for a file, you can use Command Shift O. I can search for Docker Compose, which is just a regular file. So there you go. So now if you're looking for a symbol, meaning a method or a field, you can use Command Alt O. And you can search for center. And there you go, it's in the string utils class. So here using find in files action, you can invoke it by hitting the Command F, Command Shift F. And you can search here for a text string within a project. Use different scopes to narrow your search, find the occurrences, and exclude the certain items from the search. So I can type exception and see I've got a bunch of results in here. So to narrow down my search, I can match case it and use a regular expression. So I can say word, one or more, and use something like that as uppercase. So, and here we can filter the results by comments, instead of laterals. Let me filter it in comments. There you go. And it's really handy when you're looking for something in the whole project. So now let's move to navigation. As you have noticed whenever I move tabs can be inefficient for navigation. So to navigate effectively in the IDE, I can use the recent files action. You can invoke it with Command E. If you only want to show the recently changed files, you can hit the shortcut twice and you will see this checkbox get checked. So these are my recently changed files. And then next we have recent locations action. You can use it by hitting Command Shift E. And the great thing is that you can search in these snippets, something like string builder. There you go. You can go in there. And likewise, if you want to show only recently changed locations, you can hit the shortcut twice, like so. And there you can see the checkbox checked. Okay, now to get to the navigation bar, you can hit Command arrow up, and you can navigate across packages, folders with just your keyboard, and it is searchable, of course. So I can say car encoding, and of course, a great trick is you can preview classes by hitting Alt space, like so. And here I can preview the class without going into the classes to see the content of the class. Okay, now when you're on a class or any type of file, you may want to navigate its file structure. So to do that, you can hit Command F12, and voila. And of course, it's searchable like most other pop-ups in IntelliJ. Okay, now we're done with navigation in IntelliJ. Let's move to tool window manipulation. You can open tool windows using shortcuts. Most of them are number-based shortcuts by default. So to open a project window, you can hit Command 1, and you can even stretch to left, stretch to right using a shortcut. So to open the Maven tool window, you can hit Command N. By the way, this is a custom shortcut. You can configure your own. And to open the Git window, you can hit Command 9, and this is, I guess, the default shortcut. And you can stretch to top and stretch to bottom using that shortcut. There is no need to use the mouse in this case. So, okay, cool. So now you have got all of these windows open, and for a moment, you want to hide them all and focus on your editor only. You can hide all windows using Shift Command F12. And there you go. When you're done with your thing, you can restore all of them using the same shortcut, like so. Okay, nice, cool. I'll hide them to get some space. Okay, if you do lots of copy-paste driven development like me, chances are you'll want a clipboard here story to track your copy-pastes. Well, IntelliJ has you covered. Hit Command Shift V. You can see all of this clipboard history in here, and it's searchable, of course. So very handy. Okay, now we're done with the navigation. Let's see some editor tricks. Okay, sometimes it is useful to edit multiple files at once, and which can save you precious time and increase your productivity. IntelliJ supports having multiple cursors at once, meaning you can type and edit at multiple locations at the same time. Let me show you an example. I'll create a properties file out of scratch and get some properties from my clipboard. Okay, there you go. So when holding Shift, Alt and Shift, Shift and clicking, or double Alt. You can double Alt here and select. You can select this and transform it to example validation. So something like that. And now when you can do another check, and is that when holding Alt and Shift and clicking on a location, we create a new cursor on that location in addition to the already existing cursors. There you go, like so. You can say a validation error. And unlike column selection we have saw here, these cursors can be anywhere and don't need to be vertically aligned. Okay, now let's move to live templates. Let me create a Scratch file for that and get some code from my clipboard. Oops. Live templates. So now it auto imports. Now you can use live templates to insert common constructs into your code, such as loops, conditions, and various declarations. Now let's see how to use live templates. You can hit Command G to see the available live templates. I can type for I, for iteration with index. This, I can say something like that, this.size. Regular stuff, but live template can insert dot code for you. So I can say if null, not null, and I can say, of course, if and the check given expression is null. There you go. And note that these live templates are configurable, so you can add your own custom live templates as well. Next, we have surround templates. Let's see an example of it. Suppose we have some code in here, some bits of code, and I want to surround it with an if and with an if else. I can do something like that, Alt and Command T, and I can say if else, and voila. I can say if condition, then do something in here, else do something else. And here we have a method that throws an exception, a checked exception here. And I can surround it with a try catch finally, if I want to. Say surround with try catch, try catch, and try catch finally here. And of course, we have post completion, which is a very powerful code completion feature that lets you transform an existing expression using a postfix. Let me show you an example of it. You can say list and null in here, and I can say list and for I to iterate with an index of a collection. I can say list and say for reverse, iteration list in a reverse order. And the difference between the previous and postfix completion is postfix completion greatly reduces backward carriage movement and thus it increases productivity by not going back with your carrots. Okay, another editor trick is that you can extend and shrink a selection. And the thing is that it is context aware. So very handy, I use it a lot. Cool. So, okay, sometimes we may want to perform some Java or HTML testing, and we don't want to clutter our projects with some dummy test files. Well, Scratch files can help with that. To create one, hit Command Shift N. Oops, and there you go. Let me repeat that because I've selected that. When you select that, it will create a Scratch with this template. But in here, you can show, you can see the various types you can create. I'll choose Java, for example, and let me show you the location of the file. And as you can see, it's outside of my project. Now I can do here my experimentations with some Java library or utility class or method without cluttering my project with dummy test files. And keep in mind that Scratch files can have access to the class path of the specified module. Okay, nice. Let's see an example. First, let me create a community class. There you go. And it's just a regular class with a constructor, getters, setters, and toString. And then from my clipboard, there you go. I'll create a communities list, which contains two of my favorite communities, the LGC and the DevOps Morocco community. And here I do some mapping using the Stream API. So let's run this code. Oops, we've got an error. Why? Yeah, because we need to specify which class path the Scratch files should use. So it will use the class path of commons length, which is the class path of my module project. So let me try again. And voila, nice. I personally use this feature a lot when experimenting with some library or prototyping some code, as it helps keep the code experimentation and the project code separated from each other. Okay, now let's learn about language injection in string laterals. Let me get some code from my clipboard as usual, and language injection. Okay, and inside this string lateral, I'll hit Alt Enter to see the context actions I have. I'll choose inject language or reference, and I'll type JSON, select JSON, Alt Enter again, and edit JSON fragment. So when you do that, the IDE will know that you'll be editing JSON, and which will offer you coding assistance. So I can let's write some JSON in here. I can say name LGC. I can say country. Oops. Okay. So as you can see here, there is no need to worry about escaping codes in your C laterals. It's already done for you by IntelliJ. This is useful because writing JSON in Java string laterals can be quite painful. So now let's get into the VCS. I'll not dive into much into the VCS world because it will be a Git specific session if I do. However, I'd like to talk about Git stash versus IntelliJ shell. So when working with Git your stash your changes when you have uncommitted changes and you want to switch on the branch for a quick fix or something like that. Stashing is a good feature and doesn't give you the option to select specific files or changes inside a file. However, shelving can do that. But this is an IDE specific feature, not a good feature. So when we're creating IntelliJ, I tend to favor shelving changes instead of stashing them. That's because of the granularity you have talked about. Now here I have uncommitted changes locally. And let's try to shelve our changes. So I can go to the action, find the action, and I can say shelve changes. And as you can see, here I'm able to specify which lines and which files to include in my shelf. And as I've said, we cannot do that with gate stash. It's only an IntelliJ specific feature. So I can shelve my changes here. There you go. Now, after doing your fix or doing your thing with your branch, I can unshelve my changes so I can commit them. Okay. Let me unshelve. I go to here to shelve and unshelve. I'll shelve changes. Nice. So committing changes is quite easy. It's all about hitting Command K and selecting review. You can review your changes before committing here. So I can review my changes in here. So when you're done reviewing, I can hit commit. There you go. So after committing, you can go to the log tabs. And here you can see all of your commits in your branches. The changed file span is located on the right of the Q window here. And it shows the list of files that were modified within the selected commit. And you can hit Command D to compare the current and previous revision of the selected file. Keep in mind that we have only scratched the surface. If you want to get deep into the integration of Git in IntelliJ, check out the reference documentation to see how we can do stuff like merging, rebasing, cherry picking commits, etc., without leaving your IDE, of course. So now let me hide this. Let's get to the database tools in IntelliJ. Some people say use the command line, PSQL, something like that. Well, I personally like having a tool that does it all, or at least most of what I want. You know, Git integration, database tools, etc. It is very convenient and it minimizes the context switching that I suffer from when working with many tools. Okay, first I'll go to my Docker Compose file. To start up my Postgres container, I can start up my Postgres container service from IntelliJ using command using Control Shift R. And now let's navigate to the database tool window. Oops. And hit Command N to create a data source. So now you can choose from a variety of data sources. As you can see, you can choose from Postgres, MongoDB, Oracle, etc. And I'll choose Postgres. Now I'll type the user and password, and I can hit to ensure that the connection onto the data source is successful. I'll click test connection and hit enter. Okay, I think we've got IntelliJ linked with our database. Okay, and now let's execute a script that will create an employee table and insert some rows there. One way to do that is to select all the statements you want to execute and hit Command Enter. There you go, and choose the console. will take a couple seconds because I'm running a bunch of applications. You can see a green button, which will appear in here. It should. There you go. So, okay, cool. So we got our script executed. So another way to execute the SQL, an SQL command against my database, I can go to the console. I'll go from my recent files, console. I can do something like, here I can execute something like inserts, selects, joins, just about anything SQL related. So I can say something simple like select everything from employee, and hit command enter. There you go. Okay, and there you go. So another way to create the employee table is to just go to the database tool window, and I can navigate to the employee table and hit command and enter. That's pretty fast and easy to do. Okay, you know, probably noticed that we have used various shortcuts, and you were, I mean, I'm pretty sure that you are overwhelmed with shortcuts, but you may ask, how can I learn these shortcuts while I am working? So, well, you can use the key promoter plugin. Let me go to the marketplace to check it out. And there you go. Oops. Key promoter. This plugin will help you minimize the use of the mouse by giving you a warning when you use the mouse. So it's very handy, especially when you're getting started with using shortcuts in IntelliJ. So also check out the productivity guide if you want to know usage statistics for IntelliJ Idea features. I can go to the help and productivity guide in here. So the table in the upper part here lists the features. So I can select feature here to see its description in here, and in the lower part, so I can also see some usage statistics about all of these features. So before we finish, please remember that all shortcuts we have seen are configurable. So make sure to take your time to customize the IDE according to your needs and preferences. Okay, let me switch to the final slide. Well, this is the end of it. I hope you have learned something relevant today. And if you have any comments, questions, I'm all ears. Thank you.
Hi, I was going to ask, is there a place where you have all of these shortcuts listed so we can maybe go and try it out for ourselves?
Yes, there is a cheat sheet by JetBrain. I'll send, let me check it out. And of course, you can see all of these keyboard shortcuts in the preferences here and in the key map. And for example, you have seen me manipulate with the tool window, play the tool window. You can see the project window, command one, and all of these are recorded in here, all these shortcuts. And of course, you can modify, add other keyboard shortcut in here, modify another one. See, this is the central plus for all the keyboard shortcuts.
Yeah, hello, Hamza. Thank you so much for your presentation. I have an issue with Java. I mean, with IntelliJ, it consumes so much memory. You know, I only have an i3 computer, laptop, and I don't know if it is adequate for IntelliJ, because whenever I run only just a simple application, it takes time to execute.
Yes, definitely. I totally understand.
Is there any kind of version which is suitable for an i3 core, or do you advise me to buy an i5 core, or what do you advise me?
I don't know about the hardware stuff, but I can confirm that
I have 4 CPUs with with 2 gigahertz each one, and I have 8 gigabytes in RAM.
Yes, I got you. Yeah, but IntelliJ can run. I mean, IntelliJ can take up lots of space. You can go to a section here. I mean, in the preferences, you can configure how much RAM IntelliJ can consume. So just look
Oh, that's
for
great.
that in the internet, and you can configure that. And yeah, that's pretty much all about it.
Also,
Oh,
But
that's
you're right.
nice.
I was going to help you out there. I was saying that, with IntelliJ, what you could do is instead of opening up like lots of windows, you could have like a multi-project like module or something like that. So you have one window with all your projects open. That way it doesn't consume as much energy, as much memory and resources. Because with IntelliJ, every new window is almost like a new instance of the program.
Yeah.
You can try that out also.
And may I ask you, what do you think that it might cost me if it comes to time to be a Java kind of I don't know, maybe just a middle developer or something like that? Because we chatted on Twitter, and you told me that you didn't join the college, and I'm so amazed by what you achieved nowadays, and I would love to be like you. I mean, what do you think? Do you advise me any website, any kind of I don't know, whatever platform, or not? I don't know exactly. Just I need somebody to mentor me, because what we got in our school, and I mean in the college, is not kind of efficient, and even not adequate for computer science. And I would love to be mentored. I mean, somehow to know just where to start from.
Yeah, to be honest with you, to be completely honest with you, I've never had a mentor. My only mentor was the internet. I was a curious person. I always look on things on the internet. So just go to forums, ask people, join communities. This is very important. Communities help a
Which
lot.
community is here on
I
the
mean,
website? I don't know
LGC
exactly.
is a great community. Obviously, Meet and Mentor is a great community. Lots of great communities in here on the web. You just need to be curious and look up for the communities and join and be part of the movement and the conversation.
Could you hit me with some community platform of communities that I have to join? Just on Twitter. I don't know exactly.
Okay.
I just joined this platform when I discovered these events about Java and so on. And I think there should be another events all over the world, but I don't know exactly where.
You can hit me on Twitter. You're welcome, and I'll be sure to give you some links about on some communities that I have benefited a lot from.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Great.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry, Barry. Sorry, Barry.
Thank you, Magda. Hamza, oh my gosh, I've never seen someone in the audience say, I want to be like you. This is great. We have two more questions in the chat. One question is, can you repeat, how did you put the cursor at multiple spots?
Let me see the question because I didn't understand it. Okay, let me see.
That was real quick. That was my question. I'm Katie, and actually somebody else got back to me on that one. But for me, it was Control Shift Alt and click everywhere you want. But it was the one about selecting multiple lines, that you can edit multiple lines at the same time. Yeah.
Yes, of course we can try that out. So you can I'll create a properties file in here, and hit command which you get some data from the clipboard. Oops, this one. Do something like that. So in Mac, you can do something like Alt, double Alt, and select with your mouse or your keyboard, whatever you like. Previously I did it with my keyboard, but now I did it with a mouse. And you can do something like example validation. That's it. And the other one is without any column selection. You can do something like Alt Shift and mouse click. Some string. That's it. I believe this answers your question.
Yeah, it does. Thanks very much.
Thank you,
Welcome.
Katie, for your question. Thank you, Hamza. I think I can see just one more question in the chat. I think it was for Peter. How are you using to show the key presses on your screen? Is it an IntelliJ Idea feature or a Mackie feature?
Okay, the question is how am I using the GUI-less mode in IntelliJ? So I mean, I'm just calling it the GUI-less mode. It's not something that is branded by IntelliJ. It's just the name that just come up to my mind. So just to remove all of these windows in here from the appearance. And there is also another way which I didn't show previously. Is that I can, for example, go to View and restore all of my windows, all of my navigation bar and toolbar, etc., etc., etc. I'll restore all of them. There you go. And tabs, of course. Tab placement to top. There you go. And now, suppose you're pair programming with another developer, and the other developer don't understand, or I mean, don't use IntelliJ in a GUI-less mode. So he will not. I mean, if he codes, he will not be very comfortable in that mode. You're very comfortable with, supposedly. And the trick to that is you can do something like go Zen mode, enter Zen mode, and there you go. It will enter Zen mode exactly. You can do all various stuff in here. For example, you can do a project in here. You can navigate to the data source in here, database in here, and you can navigate to the gauge window in here. And all of the shortcuts are available too. So, and of course, you can exit in an instant in no time. See, and I can exit Zen location. And there's also another one called distraction-free mode. So IntelliJ helps you with these kind of switches between the GUI-less mode and between the distraction mode and the regular mode. So I think it's very productive. I mean, it's very productive since it lets me focus on my editor only, and remove all of that UIs that take up space. Yeah.
Great, thank you, Ramza. Lots of comments in the chat. Thank you for sharing this. It seems that many people are very happy with what they learned today. It's going to really help.
I have a question. So I have a question, please. I mean, I already used IntelliJ, but thing that I noticed that I didn't find every tutorial that I wanted with IntelliJ, because when you use Eclipse like that, you have to specify the package and so on. And when I moved to IntelliJ, it was easier. But thing is, tutorials for IntelliJ don't exist that much. What do you think?
I mean, that JetBrains is doing a greater job. It's doing a super great job in the documentation. I mean, there is tons of documentation in their official website, tons of tutorials. Okay, let me.
Could you hit me with? Yeah.
Okay, sure. JetBrains help idea.
And sorry, Barry, again.
Okay, there you go. You can see here all of the documentation. Oops. My Mac is freezing. IntelliJ Idea takes a lot of memory, indeed. So I'll just send it to you over Twitter.
That's great. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, I think that if this is all for today, I don't think we have more time for questions. So again, Sam and Ramza, thank you very much for your talk today. And I hope you can see each other again in other meetings here.
Thanks, Andrea. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.